Hey, Atul, do you want to share your screen?
Yep.
Yeah, I see your screen, Atul. Let's just give it a couple of more minutes. Then we can get started. Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. I take the chance to welcome you to this webinar on Power BI. My name is Manny. I am responsible for digital sales at DS Park, and I would be the moderator today. And I have along with me the speaker for today's session, Atul. Let me introduce Atul. Atul has 20 years experience in the industry, and he's been heavily involved on application modernization, application integration, and data platform modernization projects. Hey, Atul, you want to quickly say hi?
Hi, everyone. This is Atul. Thanks for the introduction, Mani.
Yep. And we'll keep the agenda and the first few slides a bit short so that Atul can start with the webinar. The agenda would be essentially talk about business intelligence and then kind of give you an insight into Power BI. And Atul will also be running you through a demo where he will help you create reports. And then we'll have a question and answer session for about 10 or 15 minutes or so towards the end of the webinar. You have a Q&A panel. If you can ask questions using the Q&A panel, we'll probably go through all the questions at the end of the webinar. So we just start with a brief intro about DS Park for people who don't know DS Park. We are a CMMI level 5 company with offices in the US, India, and APAC. We are part of a larger group which comprises Webdunia and EC Medico. Overall, the group has about 1,000 people. As you can see, we are a Microsoft Gold certified partner in data analytics, data platform, and cloud services as well. And we have partnerships running with a few other industry leaders like AWS and Sitecore. Atul, if you could move to the next slide. Yep. So in terms of the industries that we work on media, entertainment, e-commerce, retail. Essentially, we've been kind of guiding these customers on their digital transformation engagements in modernizing their cloud platform, data platform, working on areas like IoT and so on. So I'll just stop here and then hand over the control to Atul for him to start the webinar.
Yeah, thank you, Mani. Thanks for setting up the agenda, and thanks everyone for joining the webinar. As Mani has set up the agenda, we are going to discuss about the data business intelligence in Power BI as a business intelligence tool. Nothing new if I say today is the age of data and data is flowing everywhere. Traditionally, the data can be used in business was mostly structured data. But now we also found can also be found on public domain. Data is in social media, data in our line of business applications, data coming from sensors, devices, solar panels, Even cold storages in microwave ovens, batteries, and other smart devices are generating a lot of data. And it is now up to us how to process and analyze the data and to use in our day-to-day business. So basically over here, we are looking for some tools and technology to help us with processing of the data. Once we realize that data is a new currency, the question is how to mine it. What is the effective way to utilize the available data, transform it, analyze it, and put it to better use? Uh, BI, or short for the business intelligence, is a set of techniques and software tools which enables business users to collect or acquire the data in whatever format it is available. So we discussed about, we know, the data is coming from everywhere. The problem is how to acquire the data from variety of sources, centralize it, process it, and display it onto a very, intuitive and user-friendly format. BI tools are especially designed to do those kind of activities. Perhaps the data for querying, analysis, and creating reports and visual dashboard needs a lot of effort traditionally, but with the help of BI tools, we can execute all those in really almost in no amount of time now. So if I say technically, what business intelligence is, technically speaking, BI is a process of connecting with the data sources using data connectors, extracting it, preparing it for querying using transformation tools, and finally presenting it in a presentable way with the help of software tools. Specifically, we're talking about Power BI here, but there are multiple tools available, and so that it can be used in analyzing and decision-making process by the decision makers. There are a variety of open sources tools and proprietary tools available. The challenge is which one is a best fit. What is the tool that we can use in our day-to-day business, which is easy, intuitive, have less learning curve, and so on. So considering those things, we are currently focusing on the Power BI as a tool which is offered by Microsoft. Power BI is a Microsoft offering for business intelligence. So when we think of Power BI, we think of a comprehensive solution for BI and reporting and analytics. Power BI has a lot of features available, which we will look at in subsequent slides. Just to summarize, it can connect to your data wherever it exists, out of the box, or if it is. So even though Power BI is a service that was born in cloud, but it is not limited only to connecting to data source in the cloud. So whether your data is in the cloud or on premise, Power BI can connect to it. And it does take a lot of complicated configuration. It doesn't need a lot of complicated configuration to do so. Power BI supports hybrid connectivity using on-premise data gateways. You can install a very small utility and you can set up a communication with your on-premise database. Once the data is in Power BI, you can create reports using Power BI Desktop and publish those reports onto Power BI services. So now we look at why Power BI. I mean, there are lots of tools available in the market. So what specifically, how Power BI stands out? One of the important feature with the Power BI is it has got a lot of ready-made connectors available to communicate with any of the data source that you have. You may have on either on premises or available as a software as a service. So whether you are using Salesforce, whether you are using Microsoft Dynamics CRM, Microsoft Visual Studio Online, or Mailchimp, or Adobe Analytics, any software services or services offerings that you see on the cloud, Microsoft has or will have the connector available to that. There are tons of connectors already available, and they keep adding every now and then. Another important aspect is the familiarity of all the widgets and the charts available. So it reduces the learning curve a lot. The familiar data presentation and preparation across the tools is, I mean, it's very intuitive, and whatever you see, whatever you are used to look at, graphs and charts, those are already available in Power BI. It creates analytical spreadsheets and interactive visual reports on the fly. So, you just need to simply select the data, assign the visuals to it, and you are done. The good part is you just need to click one single button to publish the Power BI report. You don't have to go through the entire deployment cycle to do so. Power BI provides a lot of ready-made, visuals. It has it has live dashboard, provides a 360-degree view of all of your business. You can track your data in real time with support of streaming data. You can drill through the underlying reports to explore and discover new insight. You can pin the visualization and KPIs to monitor the performance. So basically, any data that you are getting, you can provide them, you can visualize them on the Power BI dashboard, and you can get a 360-degree view of the data coming in from a variety of sources. Your data, your organization is getting. If you want to do some advanced analytics, you always have option of integrating with R and Python scripts, so you can add more insight to your data. There are a lot of custom visuals available. You can get the custom visuals from the marketplace, which Microsoft Power BI provides on the marketplace. And you are not limited to only bar graphs and charts. Instead, in fact, you can also do heat maps and radar, and there are a variety of other custom visuals available. Another important aspect is the client tool for the Power BI is not limited only to Windows or specific web browsers, but the moment you create a Power BI report, they can be made available as a native application on any device that you use, whether it be a Microsoft device, it could be your iPad or Android devices. Apart from the ready-made visuals of widgets which are available on the Power BI as a default visuals, there are tons of custom visuals available on the marketplace where you can get those visuals and add more insight to the data. Some information cannot be simply present in bar graphs and charts. So for that, you may have ribbon or the heat maps or word crowds or some gauge. So those kind of visuals are available on the marketplace. Apart from all this, there are a few things which are really, which makes Power BI very unique. Is you can query the data in natural language. We'll see a demo of it, but then if you have a query like what is the average cost per trip by region of travel, and this is what your query have in your mind, you just type it and Power BI will get the data for you. So Power BI has a capability of natural language querying, and you can ask a question in any natural in English, in plain English, and it will get the results for you. Apart from querying in English, you also can speak. You can always speak with the Power BI. You can ask, "Hey Cortana, show the sales for XYZ product for this region," and as it can integrate with Cortana, it can get you the data. It will, search the data set and will get you the data just asking. You just need to ask the Power BI. It can also give you patterns and trends in your data automatically. So if you have data for like last 3 years and you want to do a trend analysis on how your current year may look like, depending on the historical data, you can also create a trend from your Power BI reports. Apart from this, this Power BI reports are not just available as standalone applications. They can very well be integrated with your existing line of business applications. It is not really required to create new set of logins and new application interface for the Power BI reports. If you have existing line of business applications, The Power BI visuals, Power BI reports, and dashboards can be integrated and embedded into your existing line of business application as well. Other than this, Power BI has got a very high level of integration available with any of the Office products. It can get data from Excel. It can provide data to Excel. Anything if you want to do on Excel, or existing users, if they are very, very comfortable with Excel and they don't want to leave the power of Excel, you can provide the data or reports in form of Excel as well. All the data that you have available on Excel can be used directly to generate reports. If you are Office 365 users and you want to share the reports across, you can create groups in Power BI, and you can share dashboards and reports within your group on the Office 365. You can navigate from Power BI to other Office 365 workloads and collaborate using that. So, I mean, I was just telling about how Power BI can be very effective, and what all unique feature it has above all other business intelligence tool available in the market today. Just to summarize, we can say Power BI differentiates from the competitor in almost 5 unique areas. Number one, it has pre-built dashboard and reports for most of the popular SaaS solutions, where we can getting all the connectors being added very frequently, whether it be your Salesforce, Microsoft Dynamics CRM, or any other popular services that you see in the market. It provides a secure live connection to your data sources, whether it is on premises or on the cloud. So you're not limited to, or you don't have to do extra effort to push the data to the Power BI. It can have connection to your on-premise data sources or the cloud. Power BI dashboards can get the real-time updates as well. So whether you want to connect with your live data, IoT devices, smart devices, and you want to see all those alerts coming in on the real time, you can have that too. You have ability to query data in using natural language and with your voice. And finally, it has got integration with Office 365. So these are by and large, some of the features which makes Power BI stand out of the competition. So let me give you a demo of how Power BI dashboard looks like, and we'll also create a report quickly. How Power BI reports, how easy it is to create a Power BI report. So just as an example, this is one of the Power BI dashboard that we could assemble in like less than 30 minutes. We can apply some. This Power BI dashboard is showing the results of quiz and how many participants were taking the participation in the quiz, how many quizzes were there, and there are topics. So using a very simple data set, we can see how many quizzes are there and how many total participants are there, total topics, total number of questions, and how many of them are right and wrong. So I can have a look at a specific users record. I can drill down through number of users and see how every user has performed. I can filter based on number of users available and limit my view to only selected players. I can have a look at the topics and limit my filters by topics and so on. So now how this can be done? I've just opened up Power BI desktop and trying to connect with the one of the data source. As I just mentioned, Power BI can get data from variety of data sources, whether it be Excel, Power BI datasets, Power BI data flows, SQL Server, analytical services, or text or CSVs, and so on. So multiple connectors are available. For the demo purpose, I'm using Excel. Let me try to open an Excel file. I have a simple file available for the demo, so I am opening that simple file. As soon as I connect with the Excel, it gets how many sheets are there and show me the sheets. I can select one of the sheets available, sales data. I see the data over here. The data is available. I load the data. And now we have the data available in the Power BI. This is a Power BI desktop where we can see all the visualization tool available and the fields available. I simply downloaded the Power BI desktop and launched it, get the Excel data, and I see my sheets, the data or the fields from my sheet are appearing over here. Power BI has automatically detected which of these fields are numeric in nature and provided a sigma sign so that you can they can be summarized, they can get the mathematical operations done on them. The text fields and date fields, so it automatically detects the type of data and arranges it for you to use. The idea of this demo is to showcase how quick it is to design a report. So let's say I just want to get a list of products. As simple as I just need to click on the products and I get a list of the products available in. So this is how you can add data to your report. But this is not it. You have a data which is like sold by country. So I want to add country too. I add country on this. So I get the data and the country in which they are sold. And I want to add what is the profit. So I just click on, I keep on adding or keep on clicking the fields and I get the data in my report. I add what is the discount, the sum of discounts on those, and the segment. So I see all those columns which I wanted to see on my report are already available. Only thing that I need to do is I just clicked on all those fields which I want to see in the report. This may not be properly arranged and we may like to arrange it. So within the visualization, we have these options. All these fields that we have clicked are available here. I can simply arrange them. I want them to be by country. So I put the country on top and then by, the segment. After segment, I want to put the product, profit, and discount. So all these are arranged. We can get little more information. This is a very flat file and I want to display this by, let's say I want to also summarize the data by segments. So instead of using a simple grid, which is this table, I can use a matrix. So I'm just keeping this clicked and click on the matrix and I see the data is now available in matrix. Over here we have rows and columns that you see on the right hand side within the visualization. So I want to see this by country and by product, and in the column I want to see the segment and the values are profit and discount. So I see the profit and discount as two columns, which is done automatically because Power BI has smartly detected what are numeric values can be found as values. So it has put already the numeric values into the value tab, the columns as segment, and product and country in the rows. We can always change it. So instead of making columns by segment, I can make them by product as well. So I'll get the information by product. This products on the top and then profit and discount as the values available. Over here, I see the product and countries. I here see the country. I can do a drill down here. So instead of country, now I see the segment. So I can toggle between country and segment like this. I can also add more columns. Instead of product, I can add let's say the month name in the columns. So I can drill them by columns and I can see the information by month as well. So in case of April, what was the profit and discount? by this number. So now this is so simple to use. It is, whatever you are doing, it's so intuitive. You just think, act accordingly, and you get the data. I select one more table over here and place the data into it. Let me add product and country, sell, and profit to this. Based on what data that we have selected, it automatically detects the default visualization. Let's say instead of this, I would have selected country as my default field. So I see all this data is available. Since it is a name of country, it displays the data automatically onto the map. What it is showing right now is the countries that are available in the list. I want to show what is the profit by the countries that I have. So while I'm selecting this map view, I can add in the value field, I can add the profit. In the size field, I see the profit, and I see, this is now visually available to me. What is the profit by country over here? Still, we would like to add some more functionality to this. There is a lot of data available on the sheet right now, and we still need to do some analysis on it. So we would like to add some filters also on the report. Let me try to add some filters over here. I need to click a slicer. I get the slicer, and on slicer, I provide the data. Let us select country. So now country is available to me for selection. If I click on France, I see the entire data is changed and is only specific to France now. If I click on Canada, I see the entire things have changed. All the data that you see over here now belongs to Canada. I can pick and choose multiple countries at the same time. And I see the data, the map, every other widget on the dashboard is now reacting to my selection over here on the Power BI, on the slicer. I'm not like limited only to one slicer. I can add as many filters as I want. So I add over here product. Product is another filter available to me, and then finally I can also do it by month name. So I add another slicer and add months to it. So if I want to see in Canada this product umbrella, what was the sale in the month of April, I can select all those three and I can see my data is now filtered based on the selections that I have. This is very plain. It looks very flat, but then we have a lot of visualization options available. I can change a lot of things, including the page background. I can add images. I can add, a lot of other visuals to it. So let me try give you an idea of how we can change the look and feel of this. Under the visualization, we have format options, and in the format option, I can change the way they are looking like. I can change the text size. Instead of 9, I want this to be 12. I change the font size of this. I can change the fonts of, or within the grid, I can change the outline color or the weight of this. I added vertical grid, the grid color I've changed. I can change the thickness. I can change the horizontal and vertical lines. I can change how subtotal look like. I can add the new title to the totals. Instead of total, I want to write grand total. So anything, any piece that you see can be configured. We can add or change the background color. We can change the image. We can change the way the borders are appearing. I can change the format. Let me put the page background as gray color and the transparency to 100%. All those are available to me. The page color is changed. Now I can change the visual effect of all my widgets to make them look better. Other than this, we can also add some images to it. So I click on image. I choose a logo for my company, place it over here. Depending on how I want to see, I format my entire page. Few more visuals like gauge. I want to display all the profit with the help of gauge. So I see, the 16.89 million is the profit right now, which is for the entire the sale. I can set up the minimum and maximum values for this. I can set the target values to the minimum is, let's say, 0, maximum is 20 millions, and can set target to 15 millions. So I can visually see what was my target, how much I have achieved, what is the maximum that we can expect in a year, and this gauge are available. We have few more visuals, like we want to show the profit by country. You can select the pie chart and select country and legends and the profit and values. And
Hey,
I can
Atul, just a
visually,
quick time check. I think we have 15 more minutes, so maybe after 5 more minutes, maybe we can throw the floor open to questions. Yeah, but anyway, people can start
yeah,
asking questions through the Q&A pane.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, Mani, this is all what I wanted to cover. The idea of this webinar is to give an head start how easy it is to learn Power BI. Basically, there is no learning at all. It exactly reacts on what you think and how you can place the data, what kind of visuals that you want to put, and it provides you help on selecting visuals. There are only thing that I want to show is other than all these visualization tools available, you always have a lot of other tools available on the marketplace. So other than very regular pie charts, graphs, and line charts, there are a ton of other visuals available in different categories that we can pick and choose and use them in the our Power BI dashboards and reports. So I just need to click visualization tool available, and this tool is now available over here. I can make use of it, just place the data, uh, you know, the profit and the category, and maybe product and profit. So it's as simple as this. Finally, now once we are done with this report, we just need to click on one single publish button, and the report will be published right to the Microsoft Power BI dashboard. My first report. So if I go over here, I look at my workspace, I see the report, I see this report is just published. I can click on this and see this report is now available for sharing, for collaboration, for sharing it with all of your colleagues and so on. So right from getting the data and creating a visual dashboard took us like 15 minutes, and we are all set with the entire dashboard. So looking at the time, I'm like, done with the demo right now. This is what we tried creating, getting the data from Excel sheet, creating a report, adding filters, adding some visual reports, Power BI visuals to the reports, and publishing. Mm, Now, if anyone has any questions, we can take those questions now, and we'll try the best to answer those questions.
Yeah, I think we have about 5 or 6 questions asked so far. So let me first read through that, and then yeah, maybe if people can actually use the Q&A pane to ask questions, I think we can address them also.
Okay.
The first one is more, I mean, can we include Power BI reports in our existing applications?
Yes. So Power BI provides an Power BI embedded option where all those Power BI reports are available as URL, and any existing application can embed them very well into all those Power BI visuals can be embedded into any application. So let's say if you already have a web application and you want to display your existing Power BI dashboards or report or individual widgets, everything is possible. We can do that.
Yeah, I just want to add to that, Atul. Let's say if
Mhm.
someone has an existing app and then they want to kind of us to do an assessment, we offer assessments, I mean, up to about a couple of days for free as well, where we could come in and then do an assessment and then tell you how Power BI reports can fit in as well.
Yeah.
Next question is, can Power BI connect directly with APIs?
Yes, as far as the API is providing data, we can communicate with those APIs and get the data right directly into the Power BI. There are some limitations based on the licensing type of Power BI, how much time we can refresh the data. But by and large, at least for 8 times in a day, in a period of 24 hours, we can refresh the data with the basic, license as well. If you want more frequent data, um, Power BI in fact provides us data directly from the streaming. So if you have IoT devices or other smart devices which are providing data, very frequently in like fraction of seconds, Power BI can communicate with them as well.
Okay. There's a question from the audience as well, which is, how do you share published reports to non-technical folks?
So there are multiple ways of doing it. One simple way is you get the URL and share them. If they are on the Power BI, if they have the Power BI license, they can simply click on the Power BI on the link, and they can get to see the data on their dashboard. Different ways of doing it could be exporting the data into PDF or save the report as PowerPoint presentation. Can also be done right from the right from the Power BI interface. So all this can be saved, exported to PDF or export to PowerPoint. Options are available on Power BI.
Okay, Atul, the next question is, what tools are required to be installed to create Power BI reports?
Yeah. For the simple report that we have created right now, we just need to install Power BI Desktop, and this is the only tool that is required. It is even not required if you want to create a report directly onto the Power BI interface. So you can go to app.powerbi.com, create an account there, and you can start working on those directly. So you even don't need any tool to install. But if you want to create a report first on your desktop and then publish it, or you want to communicate with the on-premise data set, you may need some tools like on-premise Power BI connectors, which is on-premise gateways that you need to install to communicate with the on-premise databases. So those are the minimum tools that you would need to use for creating a Power BI report.
Atul, the next question is, does Power BI offer column level and row level security?
Yes, they are called as RLS, the row level security and the column level securities. We can create users in Power BI, and we can define, which area, which countries are available for specific users to use. We can mention the security at the different providing different criteria based on the rows. So in short, the answer is yes.
Next question is, how do you refresh the data set once it's been published?
Dataset refresh can be done automatically depending on the frequency that you set up. So there are, you may have to write a little code to do that. Data refresh is done automatically, and we need to look at that. There are like refresh frequencies are available when you set up a connection. So once you set up the frequency, depending on the frequency, it can refresh the dataset.
Okay.
If you want to do it manually, you just need to load the query and do it again. So if you want to do it manually, that option is always available.
The next question is, let's say if you're using SQL Server and kind of getting data from SQL Server onto a Power BI dashboard, does it affect the performance of the database?
The performance of the database will not get affected. Mani, can you please repeat that question once again? So this is performance of Power BI or
Okay.
performance of?
It says performance of the database. The question says performance of the database. Let's say, I think there's
No.
another question allied to that that says, if using SQL Server, does getting data from it time to time affect the performance of the database?
No, it should not. See, providing the data would take its own, execution cycle. So it should not, because whenever you're providing the data from a Oracle database or a SQL Server database, it just does a read cycle. So it should not affect the performance of the database.
And there's one more question on report bursting. Does it have a report bursting and extract, a non-live connection option?
I didn't quite get this question, but can we get some more explanation onto this?
I think
we can extract the data if it is about extracting the data. The data can be extracted even if it is a non-live connection, because data gets embedded into the reports. So we can always download the data even if it is not live.
Okay. And there's a question on content packs. It says, can you explain content packs in Power BI?
That would take some time. We can answer this question if you know.
I can try and answer it in short, Atul. So content packs are called organizational content packs. So these are essentially templates that you can create. Let's say, for example, your HR wants some pre-canned reports, or your finance teams want some pre-canned reports, or your sales want some pre-canned reports. You could just easily, using the content packs, just create them for specific departments and then derive reports from those. Okay.
Thanks, Mani.
Yeah, and so there's another question that says, what role should report viewers be assigned if they shouldn't be able to make changes to it, but should be able to filter and play with it, as well as create their own reports?
Yeah, the report viewers can get the read-only roles on the Power BI dashboard, so they will not be able to make any changes to the data set, or they will not be able to make any changes to the widgets, the placement of the widgets, but they will still be able to filter the data. They can play around with the data, download the data, whatever data is available to them. Restrictions can also be imposed on whether they can download the raw data or not, whether they get the access to dataset or not. If you want to allow them to create your own widgets and dashboards and reports, this is also possible. So in that case, the restriction will be only on the dataset, and the report can still, they can still be able to create widgets and put visuals on their reports.
There's another question on the dataset refresh. How do you refresh the dataset once it's been published?
So as I just mentioned in the while answering the other question, dataset can be refreshed while we are working. We can manually refresh the dataset. We have to go to the reports from where we got the queries, and we can refresh it. So in fact, there's a button just to refresh the dataset directly. If you are talking about manual refresh. After the development, once the development is done, we can set the frequency of refresh, and we can set depending on how much your license allows, and we can set the frequency, and it will get the data refresh frequency accordingly. There are two ways of doing it. During development, it is just a click of button. After development, it is a configuration setting.
Okay, there are a few more questions as well. One says, how can we connect with SQL Server database which is hosted on-prem?
Yeah, so for that you'll need a SQL Server on-premise, so Power BI on-premise data gateway, and the data gateway is a very small component that needs to reside on the machine on-premise, which has connectivity to your database. So you have to set up, configure two ends. One, you have to connect that connector with SQL Server, and Power BI will connect to that connector, and a connection will be established. You can get the data in Power BI, and you can set the refresh rate over there. The data will be available on Power BI. So the component that you need is the gateway.
Okay.
Power BI gateway.
There's one more question on the gateway. How can you set up gateway to work with Box?
With Box, I'm assuming it's the box.com.
Yeah, that's the one. Yep.
So, Mani, I haven't worked with this particular thing. I am not sure if box.com allows the connection. If it is, we need to check. I mean, that's a very specific question regarding box.com. So I'm sorry, I haven't worked on this earlier.
I think maybe if we can do some more research and reach out to this person who
asked.
Yeah,
we can certainly reach out to.
Yeah. I'm just going through to see if I missed any question. I think there's one more question. It says, does this tool have a different BI add-in for Excel? Because I think we dealt with similar functionalities in Excel earlier.
Yeah. So the question is, do we have different
add-ins for Excel? Do we have any add-ins for Excel, basically? Power BI add-in for Excel?
Yeah, we do have Power BI add-ins for Excel, and in fact, for the basic operations, we exactly don't need any kind of add-ins. But if you want to do some advanced operations, like while creating an Excel report, we want to add some filters and drop-downs, we need some add-ins. For basic export, we in fact don't need even add-ins to work on.
Okay. Thanks, Atul. I think there was a question on will this webinar recording be shared with us? We will be sharing a recording of the webinar, as well as we'll be sharing a recording of the presentation as well. I think as we're coming to the close of the webinar, just wanted to quickly share that we help a lot of organizations on POCs and pilots as well, where we get funding through Microsoft, and then with that we pull in some funds, and then we try and kind of do POCs, pilots, assessments, so that kind of helps them to take a good peek at Power BI, and then go big bang on Power BI. So that's something that's available as well, both from us and from Microsoft. I don't see any other questions coming through, but if there are questions, we will reach out to you anyway, sharing our email IDs. So if there are questions, please reach out to us offline as well. And if you have a use case that you want to pilot on Power BI, we'd be glad to help you do that as well. I don't see any other question coming through, Atul. So
okay,
I think let's try and close the webinar. Thanks to all the attendees. We'll be sharing the presentation, sharing a URL of the recording as well. And thanks for attending, and thanks for the questions. I think these were very good. I think it also kind of encourages us. We will be doing a series of webinars, not only on Power BI, but on Azure as well. So please join our webinars. I hope it's all useful to all of us. Thank you. Have a nice day.